that's a tremendous looking trophy.
Welcome to the #1 PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. I am Dylan Blight. Joining me today, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, how are you going today?
I am well. How about you?
I'm okay, yeah.
Oh, jeez, bring it down.
Well,
It's okay.
Of course, we record on Monday. There's a bit of a depressing news in the around video games. But
I wasn't sure. It's like we record the podcast on the day or the night of that.
Yeah.
What
can you say?
Just talk. What can you say?
That hasn't been said by everybody.
It's like you wanna come on. You wanna do for the most part, a happy-go-lucky podcast. And usually when we do these shows, if there's an event like that in America that has happened close to, or, the day before or something, hasn't hit as close to home, so you kind of get away with just doing the video game podcast, I suppose. But, this one's a bit different, I suppose. Not much to say other than change your fucking gun laws, but...
Don't be a sore loser. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be. Yeah. It's crazy. If you haven't read about it by now, I'm sure you have, but just, mass shooting's not good.
No. That's a general rule.
That's a general rule. I won't. I've spent all morning reading stupid people on Facebook and Twitter and, the gun nut crazy people, so... I had my share of waking up this morning, reading about it, getting sad and angry about it, and then, of course, hopping on the internet to see people being like, well, it's not the gun, it's the... all that. The typical conversation that you hear when people are like, change the gun laws, and there's always someone straight away like, fuck off! What's it? Second Amendment? Is it the Second Amendment? Yeah.
Yeah, Second Amendment.
Yeah, okay. Just double-checking my American Amendment knowledge.
Need those facts right, yeah.
Yeah, so Explosion Network thoughts out to those affected, but let's not bring the whole thing down. Let's move on to some video game news. Let's go from crazy sad to weird nonsense stuff.
Sounds like the Explosion Network.
Yeah. This past week, everyone picked up their crazy PS4 Pro translucent blue limited edition console, which... I don't think I brought up any.
It's so limited that they're giving them away.
Yeah,
it feels like.
I swear, because it's 50,000, and I swear they gave away 20,000.
It feels like it.
It does feel like it. There's like a couple people who said, were like, yeah, I paid my $500-600 whatever million dollars it was, and then everyone else, everyone else I've basically seen on Twitter has been content creators or media people or anything like that. Unboxing it, I'm like, what is it, like 10,000 just to promote to sell 10,000? That's not. I don't know how
that doesn't make financial
practice.
sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like give away 10, sell whatever. But what do you think of the Crazy Go console? If you had the money, would you have gone crazy and tried to snag one of these?
No, I don't think so. I mean, no. The Spider-Man one looks better.
Would have preferred the Spider-Man one? Yeah. I mean, I like it.
Yeah, it's cool.
But at the same time, in that scenario where I'm like, okay, unlimited money, do I still sit there like a crazy person in front of my PC for it? Probably not. I don't like it that much.
Especially this far into the life cycle of the...
Yeah.
That's every other week we're talking about PS5. Do you really want to put the money down for this? Yeah.
I can understand for collectors, because there are people who legit just like to get one of every controller, one of every console.
Yeah.
Which people think is crazy, but people spend more money than that on collecting, a random assortment of random shit out there, Way more expensive things to collect than limited edition
cars.
PlayStations. Yeah, cars, yeah.
Boats.
Yeah.
Mistresses.
Baseball cards. Magic the Gathering cards, even. So on the scales of what's more expensive, collecting consoles isn't actually that bad. But if you're someone that's just decided now to randomly get a Pro for this, okay, sure. You could have got one cheaper.
Yeah.
Especially if you're one of these people that's picking one up on eBay because they're going for prices of around $1,500.
Jesus.
By scalpers, of course, because that's how the world works. Good
luck.
Good. $1,500 spare dollars to buy from a scalper. I'm happy for you, I guess.
Would that go up in value, do you reckon?
This?
It's tough to say. Is it like a car where you start using it, the value goes down straight away?
Oh, if you keep it in a box, it's definitely going to be worth more.
Yeah.
The only like console trading stuff, I'm not good at. I'm not in the world of reselling limited edition consoles to keep up with stuff. But for instance, I am in my local like Launceston Gaming buy and sell, whatever the fuck it's called, group on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I've never used it for anything, but I'm just in it just in case, or you see what people post, etc. And people in there buy and sell limited edition consoles all the time. And people will put prices on stuff. And for some limited edition 360 consoles, inbox, everything, it'll be like really low price. And then other ones will be really high. And you always got to wonder, how do the people get these prices? And I swear it's just a simple, they go to eBay, type it in, and whatever people are selling it for on eBay is the rule of thumb. But it's like, how do the people on eBay decide how much a fucking limited edition console is worth? I don't know. It's an odd marketplace. I don't think there's a referee for it.
No.
I think this one might be worth more simply because it's numbered though, which is a cool thing about it. I
Yeah,
do like that
cool.
it's numbered. Yeah. It's not like 50,000, but it just says it inside the box or something. It's actually nicely on the console there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on because none of us got cool PlayStations.
No.
Or the money to throw around for cool consoles.
PlayStation, if you've got any left, like one of your content
We'll
creators
unbox
turned
one.
back for some reason. Yeah, we'll unbox one.
Send it to your tier 4, tier D, E, F content creators, the Explosion Network. So Spider-Man has apparently had its length revealed. 20 hours, they say.
Oh.
According to James Stevenson, who is the community manager at Insomniac Games, who got asked on Twitter how long the game will be and responded saying it'll be about 20 hours on normal difficulty for the average player, doing a mix of the normal storyline and maybe a random couple side missions along the way to spread out the main missions, I suppose.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people responding to the story. I saw it on comicbook.com. I saw a lot of people responding to the story saying that's short, to which I say that's crazy. Because maybe 20 hours is short compared to The Witcher or a big RPG, Final Fantasy or something like that. But 20 hours compared to other games that I would put in the similar genre, which of course everyone jumps to the Arkham games, 20 hours for jumping on doing the main storyline is actually quite long. For example, I think Arkham City or whatever, those games sit around 12-ish hours.
Yeah.
New Tomb Raider is going to be like 12-ish hours.
I think God of War was like 22, something like that hours.
Something like that. And yeah, so 20 hours for the main completion. And then you're looking at, obviously there'll be collectibles, completing on side missions, etc., all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Let's just double it and say it's probably going to take you 40 to 50 hours to 100%. That's just, pulling out of thin air guesstimate maths. But yeah, how do you feel 20 hours main story?
Sounds good. Hopefully they've just found the perfect amount of time to tell this story. Because that's more important than how long it's actually going to be. As long as the story stays solid the whole way through, I'll be happy. I don't need it to be 40 hours.
Missions.
Yeah, I don't need filler. Just to stretch it out, yeah.
Yeah. How do you, because you weren't here when we talked about it last week, before we move on to Spider-Man, what do you think is in that what do you think is on that collector's edition statue? Because me and Paul talked about it last week. I'm on the gravestone or something boat.
Yeah, it is standing on something. I think how is in the pictures, is that actually how it's going to be in the box? It's going to have like raft, yeah. I don't know, it's like standing on Avengers Tower or something cool, yeah.
Well, we know Avengers Tower is in the game.
It's in the game.
But I don't know why. So to cover that up would only make sense if Tony Stark's there in a window of the tower.
It's standing on Tony Stark's dead corpse.
That's the way to go.
That would. No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure what you could put that would be worthy, but that's the exciting thing because we don't know what it is.
Do you think if it was like Doc Ock or something like that, that's a big deal?
Yeah, I think so. Seeing as it's not in any of the trailers yet.
Well, yeah, but come on, we all know Doc Ock's in the game.
Yeah, we do. That's okay.
we all know. Well, we'll find out soon enough because it's pretty much everyone's just talking about Spider-Man because we are in the final countdown.
Less than 2 weeks. Oh wait, more than Is it
less than 2 weeks?
Yes, I was right. Maths.
Yeah, it's Friday.
7th September.
Yeah, it's less than 2 weeks. Yeah.
Next Friday.
Yeah. That's the one. I'll be at work.
So will I. I think I'll have enough time to go to the EB, pay the rest of my pre-order, and then bring it home and put the disc in and then go to work. Yeah,
I presume my day will be morning, pick it up, which is how most collector's edition pickups for me work when I work. It's like shop, go to EB, pick it up, come home. Oh, yay, let it put the disc in. Is there an update? Oh, yeah, cool. Breakfast. Oh, I gotta go. Bye.
Yeah.
No, that was fun. All right. If you're looking to check out Spider-Man ahead of its release, little shout out in case you didn't know, because you might not know if you don't keep up with esports. On in Melbourne this week is the Melbourne Esport Open, which is interesting in its own behalf because it's the first of its kind for Australia. Pretty big event for the Australian gaming scene, especially the esports scene. So it's going to be great in its own regard. However, if you want to check out Spyro, the Division 2, or Spider-Man, they're all going to be in a little section called the JB Hi-Fi Game On Zone. So they've kind of turned into, they've attracted a bit more than just, hey, it's an esports event. They kind of set up this, you want to play Spider-Man, you want to play Spyro, you want to play the Division 2, which I'm sure there's some people out there who will just be like, the ticket's like $49, I think, one day or something like that. I guarantee some people will just be like, fuck it. Pay $49 to go check out those games and then walk around in a circle and probably leave.
Yeah.
So, because there's people like that.
There are people. Would if you were in Melbourne, would you go? Just
if I was in Melbourne, I would go for the event in general.
Yeah.
I'd probably go for both days to check it out. I don't have an interest in all of the games being played. Yeah. However, it's a kind of thing where, you know, I think we talked about when how many episodes ago when the event was first announced and we was talking about it, kind of how you were saying, I think you could go to pretty much nearly any normal sporting event and just enjoy it, you know, kind of being there.
Yeah.
You know, you'd get into it. Even if you don't follow it normally, but if you was at the venue for whatever, like cricket, if you didn't enjoy cricket, you'd be like, well, I'm here, so get into it or whatever. I think I'd be the same for an esport that I don't enjoy, you know?
Yeah.
Get into it anyway.
Yeah.
And even for games I don't particularly care for much, like I don't particularly enjoy watching Fortnite, even though it's obviously the biggest game in the world. But if I was there, I'd suddenly be like, yeah, fuck yeah, get them trees, what are you doing? Shoot the
Build
guy.
that thing.
Build that thing. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a cool event. At one stage I was considering, like, if money and time and everything else
had it lined up,
fly over for the weekend. Yeah. But
yeah.
Maybe next year.
Maybe,
so,
if it's a huge raging success.
Or unless it's a complete and utter fucking shit show.
Yeah. That could happen, yeah. But I believe our own Kieran Marchin's going to be down there, isn't he?
He is going to be there. Not on our court, on his own personal time. Which means if you see him, don't bother him. He'll get angry. You could be like Kieran. He's a guy. He does early late nights. He talks about esports a lot. He could have been like, I'll go down there. I'll do some coverage.
I'll do a special early late night esport edition. Interviews.
Yeah, you could say, if you was doing a show like Early Late Nights, would you have reached out and tried to get a media pass or anything? You could have, but you wouldn't be Kieran March.
See, we're making Platt Kieran again.
Yeah. Hashtag Platt Kieran again. But yeah, we'll hear back from Kieran.
Kieran will have thoughts.
Kieran will have thoughts on Early Late Nights. I'm sure.
Twitch.tv/Explosion Networks, Tuesday and Fridays. 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.
That's the one. And he'll be talking about it on next Tuesday's show.
The 28th of August.
Oh, you got the...
No, that's tomorrow.
I mean, that is...
He'll probably be talking about it tomorrow as well.
Yeah, probably. You fucking hope so now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope the event's good fun. And if you want to check out Spyro Division 2 or Spider-Man, go there, check it out. Support the Australian upcoming Melbourne. They're trying to turn Melbourne into the esports city of Australia. Well, they're doing it pretty well because I'm pretty sure another fucking gaming bar opened up there recently. Yep. So that's a thing. It's got them everywhere. Just a bunch of fucking gamers running around now. All right, so last little mini story before moving on to the biggest rundown of the week. Life is Strange 2, the trailer finally dropped for the sequel series. They're not calling it Season 2, it's just straight up Life is Strange 2. So it's like a sequel in name, not Season 2 or something like that. Pretty much what we had guessed, I'd say, from the teaser came true. A lot of the fan theories all turned out to be correct. So watching the trailer when it was revealed, nothing too shocking. It all kind of fell into place, I would say. You know?
Yeah.
Did you watch it and be like, oh my God?
I watched it a few hours ago. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of, yes.
So you've got Sean and Daniel Diaz, brothers, on the run from the police after Daniel, who's the youngest, kills a cop, which is what we see in the teaser trailer that they released beforehand, with telekinetic powers. Why they were having this altercation that led the cop to show up, that led him to use the powers to kill the cop, don't know. However, cop does show up. I presume it's an accident because he's a kid with powers he doesn't know how to use or control. Yeah. So that's a kind of stereotypical superhero trope, but it's fine. It'll suit the story. Kills a cop and then they go on the run. So it's a complete different take to Life is Strange 2, Life is Strange 1, and you're going to have two characters trying to make their way back to Mexico and evading the law. A very long journey.
Well, now we know who they called the police, right? ICE. Illegal immigrants. Donald Trump coming for these young boys. Terrible.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Yep.
I suppose you're right. On that account, though, or that topic, it is, what do you think about, considering the subject matter of the story, really? I mean, it's a superhero thing, but at heart, it's pretty much an immigration. It's going to turn out to be a heavily immigration story, and that guarantee that's where the political story of it's going to go.
Yeah.
What do you think about tackling that in a Life is Strange game?
It's pretty bold. I mean, for them to, I guess, put such a divisive political issue into their game, potentially,
front and center,
is risky. But I mean, I imagine the majority of people who will be playing this game would be happy to see this issue tackled. So
yeah,
I mean,
I think I don't think the trailer showed enough for me to get a super big idea. There is gameplay of like the entire first chapter out there that I haven't watched because
I heard about that.
I don't really want to. It's not like watching gameplay for. It's because it's such a story focused game that I just find it weird to sit down and watch that particular gameplay. So I didn't watch that.
But what's the gameplay going to be like?
Well, it's just.
Or do you want to find out? Because in Life is Strange 1, obviously, there was the time travel mechanic was the big thing. What are they going to be doing in this?
Well, so you're going to have the telekinesis shit happening.
Yeah.
To a degree. And then they've also said that there's going to be other new mechanics that they haven't revealed yet.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't know. Maybe
his
the other
brother has time travel
powers
towers as well.
Yeah, or some shit like that. So that's a possibility. What do you think about the fact that it is Life is Strange 2 and it's within the Life is Strange universe, but it's pretty much its own separate thing for most of the part. With the only connecting factors are really kids, superpowers.
I mean, none of the Final Fantasy games are connected in any way, so
yeah, that's true.
I guess Square Enix doesn't really care.
Yeah. Well, don't not got asked about it, obviously, and they said that there just wasn't any more story to tell with Max or Chloe.
Yeah,
it was done, especially Chloe after the Before the Storm series. But at the same time, when Before the Storm got announced, I was like, fucking ruin it. I don't need more of this. And then I think, looking back at it, Before the Storm is the series I like more than the first series of Life is Strange. So give me more Chloe. I just changed my mind completely. I would like... The only thing I would like is some nod, hint, reference, something. And the go-to thing that I would like... and you haven't played the first season, have you?
No. But that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, spoilers for the first season, but we're talking about second season of something at this stage, so whatever. Skip ahead 30 seconds. First season has two different endings. One where you kill Chloe because that's like to stop it's like the butterfly effect. So at the start of the game, you save her, and that kind of causes all these ripples and stuff like that. You save her from getting killed. And then one ending is you go back and you make sure she dies to stop all the time ripples happening. And then the other ending is you basically stand hand in hand with her as the approaching storm comes to destroy the city, and you're like, fuck it, just let it happen. I'll stay with her because you're like, I love her, and fuck, whatever. And then storm happens.
Yep.
You don't know what happens after that, but that's the two endings. I would like at some point, if in this, even if it's not something front and center in front of your face, but you could read on newspaper or something, city destroyed by a thing, or if they could put the date after the city is supposed to be destroyed, and you can read into it and go, oh, so this game's taking place in the timeline where Chloe must have died because the city wasn't destroyed by a giant tornado and storm. So that's all I ask.
Okay.
I feel that'd be nice, just to tie it in to the
what
world, I suppose.
If episode 5 ends with them in Arcadia Bay as the storm hits?
How close is Arcadia Bay to Mexico?
I don't know.
I don't know. The famous
they don't look like the brightest kids. They could get very lost.
Well,
or maybe they do end up captured by ice and they get to put in a.
This game's going somewhere. Very dark.
Yeah,
very, very dark. We will find out soon enough, though. The first episode is out September 27th. So
that's
exactly 1 month from when we're recording this episode. Less than 1 month when you're listening to it. There you go. I presume they'll drop one more trailer, like the week of release or the week before or something like that. But I like how they're not giving away too much other than putting out an entire first chapter. But the entire first chapter was playable at Gamescom.
Yeah.
Which is why they put it out, because people was just going to leak it. And, people would record it, footage, whatever. Yeah. So they were just like, well, we'll just put up our own. Here's an entire chapter that's on show at the floor. Talking about Gamescom, let's talk about a whole bunch of news that's dropped out of Gamescom 2018. Of course, the convention that takes place in the city I can't pronounce in Germany. Hoppensburg? One of those ones. It's basically the European E3, I suppose, is the way most people refer to it as. They don't have the big conferences there. Microsoft did do a live, like, it wasn't on a stage presentation. I stayed up to watch it. It wasn't worth staying up to watch at all. But
that's what I heard. Yeah. I'm pretty
sure
sure Paul James fell asleep.
Paul James of Player 2, that little old man that was on last week, he certainly did fall asleep in his chair. And it was quite funny because I'm watching it and he's tweeting along on the P2 account on Twitter, live tweeting what's happening. And at some stage, I just stopped seeing P2 tweets. And I'm like, either he's died or he's fallen asleep. And then the next morning, he confirmed he had fallen asleep. I was like, well, that's pretty funny. And I couldn't blame him because it was, and this is a PlayStation show, so we can gladly say, fucking Xbox boring conference. What are they doing? Boring me to tears. PlayStation didn't even bother having one. They're like, fuck this shit. Europe, Fuck them.
No, they're waiting for Paris Games Week.
Yeah, that's true. They stick to the more fancier European countries, not Germany. Oh, Paris. But so Xbox did one. Nintendo did a 20-minute indie video thing, and then at the start of Gamescom, they had a live show with a bunch of different developers, and primarily showing off THQ Nordic was showing off a bunch of games, but there was stuff from Ubisoft and a couple of companies there too. So not as big as E3, but show floor wise, apparently is fucking huge. Did you see videos and the pictures and the tweets of how crowded it was?
Yeah, there was a lot of people there.
Oh my god. Fuck that shit. I saw the crowds. No. Give my anxiety a fucking heart attack looking at the fucking the amount of people in that sucker.
Wait till PAX.
I fucking, as long as PAX this year will be better. That's right, Dylan. There was that story. Did you see the fake story about the person shitting in the Fortnite line?
No.
Oh my god! So this is what Donald Trump's always on about. He's always on about the fake news.
The fake news.
The fake news. This is the first time he was right. So apparently, someone on Reddit or some forum like that said, "Oh, someone in line at Fortnite," and you may be like, Dylan, why were people in line for such a long line? Because apparently it was an 8-hour line at the back of it. Like, that's the estimated wait time at the back. 8 hours. Why are people lining up 8 hours to play Fortnite? It's a game that's out free on every fucking platform.
That's because a good question.
You can get a code for like a skin or something if you played there. And of course, people would pay the money to go to Gamescom to check out all these new games and then spend 8 hours of the day lining up for a fucking Fortnite skin. Yeah. So on Reddit or somewhere like this, someone was like, someone shit in a bag in the Fortnite line and then left it there and it stuck the whole place up. And then all these news outlets ran with the story. And I'm talking a mix of mid-tier credibility to very low, you would never believe. But some of the mid-tier places, I was like, come on. Really? You're running this story? Like, IGN wasn't running it, GameSpot, or, places of stature weren't dumb enough, but so many places, people were running this story. And then, of course, people were believing it and sharing it, saying, well, it's on someone shit in a fucking bag.
Sounds like Germans.
Sounds like Europeans, fucking Germans. Fucking hell. But, then someone on Twitter was like, this is bullshit. This wasn't it. Someone who was working at the Fortnite booth.
Oh, it was bullshit.
Yeah, it was bullshit. It was straight bullshit. Although some of the memes I saw coming out were quite hilarious. People would be like, oh, if someone's shit in a bag, really, you just see all these jokes everywhere like, where are we dropping, boys? Which I thought was quite good. But people pointed out too, if someone's shit in a bag in a line, there would be videos, there would be pictures, there would be, someone would, it wouldn't just be a Reddit text thread or something like that.
No, there'd be
pictures and
images.
Video.
There would be...
Yes. Guaranteed the amount of
evidence.
people that would take pictures. Yeah. You'd never see the end of it. So
this is 2018.
Yes. You see everything on social media.
Yeah.
So that's Gamescom. Someone did not shit in a bag there, but I would assume the place would fucking stink anyway, judging by the amount of people that were crammed into the place.
Probably.
Let's run through some of the news stories coming out of Gamescom. So the first one, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice gameplay was revealed. It's about 5-6 minutes long. I believe it's the gameplay that people were showing behind doors at E3, except for what press was showing behind doors at E3 ended with a boss fight, whereas this just ends kind of abruptly. So it's basically the same thing though. So they showed us this is 6-minute gameplay. The game will also be releasing March 22nd, 2019. That was revealed alongside a collector's edition, which has a 7-inch Shinobi statue, steelbook, art book, map, digital soundtrack, and replica game coins. Did I pre-order this, Ash?
Did you? Yeah, that sounds like
I certainly
pre-ordered.
did. I certainly fucking did pre-order this one. Got them.
Got to get them art books.
Well, it's a cool looking little statue, and I would like that steelbook, and so. And I would also like the game. It is also a game I'm looking forward to. It's the gameplay. Watching it, I got more excited for it because my interest from the announcement was cool. Whatever. I need to see more because I need to know if it leans more towards Bloodborne or more towards Dark Souls. Because I'm a huge Bloodborne fan.
Huge.
I would say that's one of... I don't think it's even a hot take to say it's one of the best games ever. Or at least this generation.
I think that would be a hot take.
I would put it up there as one of my favorite games ever. I don't know where exactly it fits on the list. However, it's definitely up there. I really, really like Bloodborne. Dark Souls, I've played only about half of 3, and then I got distracted for something else, and then I tried to come back to it, and was like, I can't remember all the fucking controls, and I'm halfway through the game, and I just feel like I'm fucked because I'm at halfway through it. The difficulty's too hard. I can't remember what the fuck I'm even doing. It was one of those games, which happens sometimes. So I'm a Bloodborne fan. I'm a Dark Souls meh. I would like to try out 1 and 2 maybe one day. They also announced at Gamescom that they're going to put out all 3 in a collection, like one steelbook case with all 3. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, maybe a steelbook. You got my money. You kind of asking for it there. But Sekiro looks more Bloodborne-y because it seems to want you to play more aggressively. Dark Souls is very much, you got shields, sword. It wants you to use that shield or what? It wants you to actually think about dodge, blah, 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 blah. Bloodborne's gameplay is designed to be aggressive and smart aggressive. It doesn't reward you for being stupid. You will fucking die, obviously. However, that Bloodborne had a mechanic where once you got hit, there was like a 3-second window after you got hit, whereas if you hit your enemy back, you'd regain like a little bit of health. So it rewarded you for taking a hit and then getting back on the offensive instead of being like, oh, take a hit, get the fuck back, regather yourself, put your shield up. It was like, no, get the fuck in there. If someone hits you, get in there. So Sekiro
it's more attacking based than defensive based. Seems to be my understanding.
Yeah, so there was no shields and shit like that. You had your gun and your main weapon, and it was all about dodging and using the gun to interrupt moves, but it wasn't about blocking or holding up your shield for a long amount of times. It was, it plays a lot differently. But so Sekiro's got a more aggressive mechanic built into it, and I haven't 100% confirmed what and how exactly it's going to work, but it's an interesting one because you can die. And you'll die, and the normal kind of From Software screen will come up, you died, blah, 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 whatever, which usually you just respawn and whatever else. This one says resurrect. So you can come back to life, and you can get back into the fight. The enemies still there who killed you are walking away from your body because they think you're dead, obviously. So you can resurrect and get the jump on your enemies. If you kill one and then die again, you're going to be able to resurrect again. Is apparently how it's going to work. Is there a time, after 5 times, that's too many? Or is it a constant, as long as you kill someone, you can keep doing it over and over 100 times? I don't know. They've also talked about having a big loss if you actually do die. Yeah. Like bigger than the Dark Souls franchise and Bloodborne, where obviously if you die, you lose all the souls you're carrying. You could get them back if you make it back to the enemy and kill them. But so something to balance out this power. It's an interesting game mechanic though. And especially you see it in the gameplay where they die, they resurrect, they kill someone else, they die again, they resurrect, they kill the big monster again. And you kind of makes you go, well, surely that's just easy, but you got to wonder how it balances out if you do finally die. Like how bad is the loss, I suppose. Yeah. But I suppose it makes sense thematically too. Like a shinobi time period.
Ninjas.
Ninjas and stuff, resurrection, coming back.
Yeah, those ninjas always were resurrected and stuff.
And the game has some stealth stuff in there, but it looks like it could be up to you. Like there's a point where they in the gameplay where the character hides behind a wall and then like kills the enemy as they're about to walk around. None of the other Souls games have had that. The most stealthy thing is if you walked up behind an enemy and they weren't aware of your presence yet, you could do like a power move behind them and that would like more or less one hit KO most enemies unless they were super strong. But this is a lot more stealthy, even like hanging off a ledge and being able to strike up from a ledge. And then of course the other thing that this game's got that none of the other Souls games had going for it was a lot more acrobatics. You've got a grappling hook, you can fly around, you can grab onto rooftops, ledges, fling yourself up, down, left, right, and center, wherever you want to go. And then also in combat, they showed like jumping up in the air and then like coming down with your sword on top of an enemy, which is a lot different to the other games. So I'm highly intrigued. I doubt this is a game that up your alley, but
yeah, probably won't.
But
yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to know
how much
more
was
about
that
the
collector's
Resurrection.
edition?
It was 150. It wasn't.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, it's not.
It's no 700.
So
yeah.
Yeah, fuck that 700 shit. Fuck off out of here. That fucking garbage. We also got gameplay for A Plague Tale: Innocence. Now, this was something that was announced at E3, but you know, kind of like a bunch of other titles was shoved under the bigger stuff shown from the actual on-stage presence and games.
Hard to make newsworthy games.
Yeah. I like it because it intrigues me because it's a game set during an interesting time period that's kind of fucked up and gross. But so it's set during 1349, basically towards the end. I mean, I'm not a history buff, but towards the end of the whatever you call
Dark
that,
Ages.
France and the Dark Ages. You know, so it's plague-ridden France where they, you know, this whole village is pretty much just dead.
Cool.
You know? This is bodies, rats. It's fucked up, is what it is. Dark time in history. You play as a girl who is leading her brothers basically through France, trying to escape. And the main mechanic the game is going to use is rats. I don't know if you gathered that from the title of Plague Tale, but it has rats fucking galore. And if you hate rats and they freak you the fuck out and disgust you, this game is 100% not for you because they are disgusting. They're everywhere. I mean, from a gameplay design perspective, you can look at it and go, that's a lot of rats, and I like the way you've designed them to move, and they swarm, and that's cool. Look at all the rats on the screen. That's quite cool. But fuck no. There's one point in the trailer where they hear, this is the first time you see the rats, they're kind of walking up a hill and there's a dead horse's carcass off to the side and they're kind of just like, oh, what's that noise? What's going on there? And then all of a sudden the horse just fucking explodes and rats just fly out everywhere. They're like, fuck this shit, get the fuck back.
So they
that's nice.
Enemies or are they like tools for you to use?
Yeah, the
to
rats will
solve
kill
puzzles?
you.
Okay, cool.
Both. So the game is... well, it's not action heavy. You're not running around with a fucking gun like shooting people. It's a puzzle adventure game, I guess, stealth game. You got a combination of figuring out how to get through the swarms of rats they show in the 16-minute gameplay. So there's a whole heap of them. They're afraid of fire though. So if you manage to light up a fire pole off in the distance, they'll kind of clear out the circular area around that, if that makes sense. And then you also have to deal with enemy guards patrolling, and at some point there's just other random humans, I think, who just come after you too. And I'm like, I don't know what they're about, but sure, whatever. But so they're holding like the guards have little lamps they carry around on their belts and stuff like that, and that's keeping the rats from coming after them. And she has like a rock throwy thing on I don't know what you'd call it. Like she swings it around a bunch in circles
slingshot
and like
or something.
Flings. It's a slingshotty type thing. Yeah, I suppose is the best way to call it. I'm sure it has a proper name, but so you can use that to aim at the guards' belts where their lamps are, and then throw a rock at it to knock out their flame, and then the rats just kill them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's nice. The rats will come up out of nowhere. The gameplay ends actually. So you crawl into this, like, I don't know, it's like a subway or like a drain pipe type thing, I suppose. And the rats are everywhere in this enclosed area. You know, above your head, everywhere. There's fucking everywhere. You got this fire. You're moving forward, and there's this guard dude at the end trying to get out. And as you're moving forward, the rats are obviously coming with you, but they're not coming after you because you got the fire. This dude up ahead has no fire, but as your their characters moving forward, the rats eventually discover this dude at the end of the thing, and then they're like, oh fuck, yep, cool, and then they just go up his old body and he's screaming and he dead. So it's disgusting.
So this is a VR experience?
No, it's coming out in 2019 for most things, I think, but I'm intrigued because it just seems interesting time period, characters, cool rat mechanic, mechanic,
rat mechanics.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued to see more on that one. Call of Cthulhu released gameplay as well. This is another game that was shown off at E3, but under the radar. Gamescom, the time where they show more of games that were at E3 but went under the radar, is how it seemed to work. This is I don't know. It's a first-person puzzle adventure game. I don't know. I didn't see at any point in the gameplay. There's never any weapons or anything like that. But I don't know. By the end of the game, are you fucking wielding shotguns, shooting fucking Cthulhu monsters? I don't know. Maybe we don't know. But so it's gonna have conversation choices with a bunch of characters. Also said there's going to be an interesting mechanic where you come in as a detective to the town, you can recruit more detectives, and then you're going to be able to send other people off to investigate other stuff. I'm like, okay, so it's like a journalist manage. I don't really know, but that's an interesting one.
Yep.
Now, we get to one of my games of the show. Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, Ash. This is the one. Have you seen this one?
I have seen this one.
You got a duck, you got a piggy monster, and you got a little lady friend, and
with stone skin or snake skin, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. It just looks fucking weird. I remember. Did you watch the CGI trailer that was released at E3?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my god, that's what you're doing wrong. Like the gameplay, it's an RTS, really cool art style. I'm down. So it's XCOM with weird animals. It's the best way to describe it for people, I suppose. I'm down. Art style looks great. Whatever. Give me all that. However, the CGI trailer is worth watching solely because it's really great. It's funny. You're in this building. All of a sudden, this duck comes in out of nowhere. I remember watching it back at E3, just going, "What is this fucking game?" And I didn't know it was an RTS or anything like that. I had no idea at the point, but I remember just being like, "This game with this duck, I need it." This fucking duck. So I would say that's my second favorite thing to come out of Gamescom is a release date for this, which is December 4th.
Interesting.
So I'm excited for that one. Well,
probably the last game being released this year.
It might be. I don't think it's also a game that really cares about any other games, because the people who are looking at this weird RTS, strategy game are going to buy it. It wouldn't matter if it came out the same week as Spider-Man, but it's going to have an audience,
Yeah.
We got details for Twin Mirror. So this is Don't Nod's other series coming out 2018. 3-episode series. The first no, it's not. It's coming out 2019. Sorry. 3 episodes series. Supernatural twist though. So a lot. Well, I was about to say Life is Strange is supernatural too, so maybe not. But this is like a dark Stephen King novel, I suppose, or an episode of The Twilight Zone, some shit like that. You're gonna follow the journalist Sam, who awakens in a motel with a bloody shirt and no memory of the night before. And then it's also basically got the mechanic from the Sherlock Holmes BBC series where you can go into your mind palace.
Yeah.
And remember things that you've seen, and I don't know. I read in the press release where it said, and our mechanic, the mind palace, and straight away I'm just picturing fucking Benedict Cumberbatch like standing there going inside his fucking mind palace. So yeah, that the whole twisty head backwards and forwards thing.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched Sherlock Holmes, the BBC one, you're doing yourself a disservice.
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah, what are you doing? Fuck off with that Robert Downey shit, and fuck off with that Will Ferrell shit. Go watch the BBC Sherlock Holmes one. And the other mechanic is he's got, I don't know. So he's got like a alternate, or what do you call it? A twisted alternate personality, whatever. the thing's called.
Split personality.
Split personality or something like that. It seems. So he's talking to himself about shit with this
schizophrenic
version. Yeah, schizophrenic or something like that. So 3 episodes though, so it's low number. The first one's out early 2009. They didn't put a exact release date on it though, so that'll be interesting. I like how they're kind of all over the place with Dontnod's games. It's good.
Yeah,
they're just exploring lots of different genres. So they got Life is Strange to bring in the money.
Them out.
Just pump them out though. Yeah.
Vampire.
I assume that
Life is Strange 2.
Yeah.
This.
The demo. If you want to count Captain Strange as a
I guess
same kind of thing. I guess. Now for game of the show, Ash. Do you want to guess what game of the show is?
Spyro. Was Spyro there?
Nope.
No. Was
you're
it
wrong?
Spider-Man. It's got to be Spider-Man.
No, you're wrong again. It's Biomutant.
Oh, okay. I remember that name. It sounds familiar.
Well, it had another game that had a really cool CGI trailer when it was announced.
Yeah.
Little raccoon guy, or girl. Actually, I don't think it has a. It's just a genetic monster. What? You mean wow?
There's a joke there, but I'm going to leave it.
You probably should. They're little raccoon, big monster walks up. They shoot the fuck out of it. He was like, okay, cool. What exactly is this game going to be? Is it a linear level type thing? What are we looking at here? They come out at Gamescom. They set a release date, kind of. They've moved it forward, summer 2019. But they did show off 20 minutes. And I watched goddamn every second of that 20 minutes, and it was glorious. Got this little raccoon running around, and you can fuck with it so it looks kind of cute in a fucked up way, or you can make it kind of ugly, like I'm a badass. I don't know. I'm probably not going to make it look like a badass. I'm going to make it cute. And I think they say they're inspired by Ratchet and Clank and the Arkham games, and it's very obvious because the enemy designs and the world structure seems very inspired by Ratchet and Clank, as well as the fact that they've said there's over 500,000 weapons in the game, variations.
What?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so
that's like 500,000.
That is, in fact, 500,000, some would say.
Man, getting 100% of this is going to be really hard.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have to get them all. I think, so for the most part, it's a 500,000 will just be your kind of like Borderlands random factor on weapons.
Oh, okay.
And then there's going to be other weapons that are, storyline specific. You pick up this weapon, you need it for this mission, etc., etc. So, like, they pick up one during the gameplay, which is a big fist that they then use to knock down heavy doors to access new areas. So it's like, well, that can't be random. That box has to give you the fist of some fact. Like, maybe the stats different, I don't know, but either way, you're going to have to get that kind of punching fist to get through this level.
Yep.
But then the combat is very Arkham-like. You can... Well, faster than Arkham, but in many ways similar to Arkham, because as enemies approach, you'll even see like 3 little lines light up above their head. Counter symbols like Batman has. Yeah. However, this little raccoon moves a lot faster, sliding between taller enemies under their legs, shooting. It's just very bouncy. I don't know if you have to play the game the way they do in the gameplay to be decent at it, or if that's just the way you could play it slower, but very much it's just constantly... It's like you're playing Batman, and then between every hit, you're pressing X to jump over someone. Backwards and forwards, jumping all over the place. Designs of enemies are cool. The weapons are cool. When you get a combo high enough, you build up a meter, you can activate it. Each different weapon's going to have a cool super move. They activate one in the gameplay where they just punch a bunch of enemies into the ground, like from above, and then the heads they're sticking up from in the ground. So it's cartoony-ish, I suppose, but then at the same time, they're kind of dark monsters. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if it's PG or like M or... I can't imagine it's like a hard R or something ridiculous like that, but it's cartoony-ish.
Yep.
Then towards the end of the gameplay, they show off, you get into this mech, and you go through this area, you pick up a bunch of sludge, this area, because toxic waste or, whatever. So then you need the mech suit to get through there. And at the end of that, they show up this boss. The boss looks like something out of Studio Ghibli, as far as I'm concerned. Had the face on it, kind of like something out of Spirit of the Way. Spirit of the Way? You seen that one?
Favorite movie,
classic
right?
film?
One of your favorite films, yeah.
It'd be up there, I'd say. I'd say it'd be up there. But yeah, this thing had a face like something out of a Studio Ghibli movie, so I was like, okay, got a whole bunch of different influences here, as far as I'm concerned. They're fighting this monster in the mech for a while. I was like, this is cool. What's going down? It's smashing fucking buildings left, right, and center. Yes, fucking kick ass. This is great. Next second, the fucking monster eats you. I'm like, oh shit, that must be game over. Nope, you're inside the monster's belly, and then you got to find your way through its body to its heart, and then beat the shit out of that, so it then fucking throws you back up, and then dies. And I was sold.
I don't know if that's
Take
how
my money.
biology works.
Take my money. It's how this monster's biology works. Exactly how it works. But yeah, so it's a open world game with all these different weapons and a cool art style and all this other sorts of things. I think it's only been made by 18 people or something like that. So top
Sounds
job.
cool. Let's see if it pans out.
Well, I know. If it turns out to be shit, I will be highly disappointed. But at the same time, if you ask me, what are some games I'm looking forward to next year at the moment, I would chuck that up there in some of my most anticipated 2019 games at the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's a new IP, it just looks cool, interesting. It's a third-person game that combines a lot of elements I like, I suppose.
Yeah.
Arkham and the weapons and whatever else. So I am 100% down. So that was my favorite thing I saw out of Gamescom. Then a couple other things, two more things, and we're wrapping up here. Transference got a release date finally, September 18th. It's coming out.
Is that the Elijah Wood game?
Yeah, Elijah Wood's company, Spectre Vision. They put out a demo on the PlayStation Store. I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. The demo is a prequel to the actual game, so you can check it out without fear of spoiling the full game. You just get a little drop of what the experience will be. So September 18th, it is a VR and non-VR game now. They did drop to make it accessible, which I suppose is smarter. Most of the time with VR games these days, I swear they come out and then 6 months later they're just fucking making a non-VR version anyway. So might as well just do it from the get-go. Maybe then just to guarantee, you can say, well, we made it for VR and we prefer you, and that's probably the way you should play it.
Yeah.
But just to help financially,
don't cut your audience in.
Yeah, and it'll help your bank at the end of the day, I think. So I would like to play the demo sometime this week, but even if I didn't get a chance to play a demo, I'd probably be on board anyway from what we saw at E3 this year. It looks weird.
Yeah, looks weird.
Yeah, well, it's a horror game. It looks weird. I'm intrigued. Well, it's fine. And then the last one was, relating to horror. The Dark Pictures was announced. So this is a horror anthology coming from Supermassive Games, and it is not a first-party, it's not a PlayStation exclusive from Supermassive, which is the
PlayStation messed up. They didn't lock them down.
Yeah, I know.
Should have put a ring on it.
I gotta wonder if they still might be doing a. They still might do Until Dawn 2 or something like that. And then that's obviously going to be Sony exclusive. But they were like, well, we can do some Sony exclusive stuff over here. We like working with you, whatever. But then we're going to do this horror anthology over here that's going to be our PC, Xbox, PlayStation, maybe Switch. They haven't announced it, but fucking everything gets put to Switch these days at some stage.
Is there any horror games on the Switch?
They're bringing out that one that came out last year called Get Out to Switch at some point this year. I haven't played it. It was like you play as a girl. It was trapped in. I don't really know, but that's a horror game that came out last year or October last year or something like that. So that's coming to Switch. So the first game that's going to be coming out of the Dark Pictures horror anthology is called The Man of Medan. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it. Group of deep sea divers discover a submarine at the bottom of the ocean. It's got a bunch of ghosties on it.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. How do they just happen to post a submarine at the bottom of the ocean?
I don't know. It's just horror games. It's how they work. It's chance, luck. It's how it works. Did you watch the trailer for this, or are you too spooked?
No, I didn't.
Fucking
Not because I was too scared. Just that I barely watched anything from Gamescom.
What are you doing? Why you're European? You're basically French.
Kind of. Wee wee.
Wee wee. I think it's a cool idea. Although,
wait, this is the German show. Why are you saying French?
Yeah, it's because we mentioned Paris Games Week. Now I can't get over the fucking thing. I think the only thing with this, like the trailer for it was cool. I'm 100% down. Supermassive Games, Until Dawn, cool horror game. I'm not as big a fan of it as I know a lot of people are, but I'm still, Until Dawn, cool game. So more like that in different settings and characters. That's great. 100% on board. However, I would have preferred a thematic overview or, something that tied together the anthology. Because with most anthologies...
what's it called? The Twilight Zone. Not super thematically linked.
Well, they were all... I haven't watched enough Twilight Zone to pinpoint it, but like, for instance, Black Mirror, which is today's age Twilight Zone, the thematic link is technology.
I think it's more like Goosebumps. That's what this is.
I suppose, but does Goosebumps have any? It
doesn't have any sort of theme. It's just horror, and that's what this
horror? Is. I suppose. Yeah, you're right. But maybe I just prefer my anthologies to have some sort of I like how American Horror Story shares actors and stuff, even though they're different.
Well, this could share actors or voice actors or.
Yeah, well, if it does, then that'll be fine or something. But there's a horror series. It was a TV show where they made like a bunch of movies called Masters of Horror. That's another series where I don't think they had any connecting factors to any of those movies, but whatever. So that'll be interesting. First one's out some point next year. Cool concept.
I thought did they say they want to do like 30 something?
I don't know how many they said they just want to do. They said they want to do them forever until they die or something. I don't know. They just want to do a whole bunch. They said they want to put out the first one next year, and then they want to keep putting them out at a regular base after that. Whatever the fuck that means. I don't know if that means every 6 months or every year. So we don't really know. I also, when I put up the news story for SplosionNetwork.com on it, I noted that I would like for them to be like, hey, season 1 of this is going to take place over 2 years or something like that. You can pay $100 now to get all 8, and save 20% or something along those lines. Because if it's an anthology, I doubt it's going to happen. They'll just fucking release them all for $40 each. But I would like something like that to happen, but don't know. And then wrapping up the show, there's not much trophy talk this week, just three lists pop. So Donut Country's out tomorrow. List looks easy as fuck, kind of. 100% confirmed. I know I've seen people on Twitter and stuff saying that who've got the game early with 90% of the trophies, basically, and they're just looking for how to get 1 or 2 of them. So, easy enough platinum. Excited for that game either way. That looks like a good game. And then you got Firewall 0 Hour. Trophies have popped. This is the I don't know what the fuck you call that gun. The big fucking PS Move sharpshooty gun thing. Yep. The aim controller, I think.
The aim controller.
I still haven't picked it up, but maybe I want to play this because it looks cool. My only fear for it is it's all multiplayer, and then if only people are playing it for the first week, then, it's a bust because you're playing versus bots after that point, and that's not really fun. But a bunch of the trophies include, win the match while the rest of your team are already down. In fact, a lot of the trophies basically look like they're trophies from Rainbow Six Siege. It's like, win the match while the rest of your team's down, and all this other sort of shit like that, or bomb and whatever else. And then there's a trophy for playing 100 matches. So you're going to be in for at least a little while for that one. And then Little Dragon Cafe. It isn't out in Australia yet, but trophies are popped.
What is this game? I've seen people talk about it.
It's like Harvest Moon.
Oh, okay.
I think it's from the creator of Harvest Moon. Is how it goes. That the person who did that ditched Harvest Moon was like, fuck this, I'm creating my own game. And that's why Harvest Moon, the last one, was shit apparently. I'm not a Harvest Moon fan, so I don't have the go-to knowledge for you. I'm sorry. But I kind of like the look of it because it's got a cute little dragon character. So
that's all you need.
That's all I really need. A bunch of the trophies are just complete chapters 1 through 11. And then there's a couple more for collect all the recipes, collect all the items, etc., etc., etc. So potentially an easy platinum. Don't know. We'll find out. And that's it.
Cool.
For this week's episode, Platinum Explosion. Where can people follow you, Ash?
You can follow me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. It's a thing.
It is indeed. You can follow me on Twitter, Vivaladil, VIVALADIL. You can follow this show on Twitter at Platt Podcast, of course. Don't forget to hit up the Apple Podcast service to give it a 5-star iTunes review. Please and thank yous.
Is it an iTunes review or is it an Apple Podcast review?
It's a review, is what it is, Ash. It's a review. You want to get semantics about it? It's a review.
No,
join our Discord. Chat with us on over there about games, movies, TV, whatever. All the sorts of things. ExplosionNetwork.com/Discord. You can send in questions for this show on there or tweet at us or mail platinum@explosionnetwork.com. This is a product of the Explosion Network, of which you can find many more shows, articles, news, reviews, and many other things. ExplosionNetwork.com. Follow Explosion Network on Twitter at ExplosionPod. Until next week. I don't know. Cute dragons and stuff, I guess. The Explosion Network's premier media podcast, What Do You Want to Watch, is a fortnightly show hosted by Ashley Hobley that covers the biggest stories in movies, TV, online media, and more before asking, what did we end up watching? Each episode, we discuss one particular movie or show that you can join in the discussion with by tweeting us, emailing, or posting on our Discord. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts or other podcasting services, or find the show at explosionnetwork.com.